Isabel pulled Lacey into the shadows next to the front steps of the Methodist church. She knelt down, looked Lacey directly in the eyes. Okay, Lacey, it's time. Like we talked about. You ready? The little girl's face clouded. I don't want you to go, Isabel. I know, I don't want to go either, but I gotta go. So I need you to be strong for both of us, because if you start crying, you're gonna make me cry. Then they might catch me. I might get in bad trouble. Lacey set her face and nodded. I won't cry none, Isabel, promise. Isabel saw then just how much mettle this little girl had, understood that she had to be strong to have survived what she'd been through. Two women, both looking to be in their late 30s, both overweight, with faces that appeared to have seen plenty of hardship, came up the walkway, mounted the steps, and entered the church. They looked like good, God-fearing folk to Isabel, hill folk, the kind of women she felt she could trust. Lacey, I want you to go inside and introduce yourself to those two ladies. You remember what I told you to say? That my mama and daddy are dead, that a lady I don't know dropped me off, that she told me to find someone to help me. That's right. Now give me a hug and run on in after them. The girl hugged her as tight as a 6-year-old could. Isabel had to blink back the tears, knowing that the last thing Lacey needed right now was to see her crying. Isabel pulled away, pointed Lacey in the direction of the steps, and gave her a light push. Lacey headed up the steps, reached the big doors, hesitated, giving Isabel an unsure look. Isabel nodded and blew her a kiss. Lacey tugged on one of the heavy double doors. It budged a little, but she couldn't get it open. She tried twice more, then looked at Isabel and shrugged. Heck, Isabel said, dashing out of the shadows and up to the stairs. She pulled the big door open, ushered Lacey in, and took a quick peek inside. A foyer with double doors led into the chapel. Through the stained glass windows, she could hear music and see people moving. A flight of steps headed down on the right and left side of the foyer. She caught sight of a handwritten sign that read, Divorce Recovery. An arrow pointed down the stairs on the left, and Isabel understood where the women must have been heading. That way, she called to Lacey in a hushed tone, pointing toward the stairs. Huh? Lacey said, looking confused. The women went down. Isabel heard voices coming up behind her and quickly glanced over her shoulder, revealed 4 women heading up the walkway. Having no other route, she ducked into the foyer, snatching Lacey by the hand and hustled her down the short flight of stairs. They pushed through a set of swinging doors at the bottom of the steps and came out into a long, dim corridor. There were 2 doors ahead. The closest one was shut. The one at the end of the hall stood open, a bright light pouring out into the hall, revealing another handwritten sign. Laughter, the drumming of feet, people were coming down the stairs behind them. Isabel ran up behind the first door, gave the knob a twist. It was locked. There was nowhere else to go. She put her shoulder into it, gave it a hard slam. The door held. She tried again, harder, heard the door jamb crack. Excuse me, can we help you? Isabel spun around to find 4 women staring at her from the bottom of the stairs. She tried to keep her head down, her eyes averted. Do we know you? A stout woman wearing a wood-lime green hunting jacket asked loudly. She was the smaller of the 4, but her manner let you know right away that she didn't put up with any nonsense. Girl, look here at me. She took a step closer and got a better look at Isabel and stopped in her tracks. What in the hell? What's going on? Another voice called from the opposite end of the hall. A woman, slight of build and wearing a simple knee-length dress, stood in glow of the room light. Gail, is that you? What's the matter? 3 women came out of the room behind her. Isabel realized she was trapped. She gauged the women in front of the stairs, figured she would have to rush them, barrel her way through and hope for the best. Only she wasn't sure she could, not if they put up a fight. These were big, hardy-looking women, wearing flannel shirts and boots, the wives and daughters of miners, solid women who'd raised plenty of kids and had been around more than their fair share of mean. And just when Isabel thought things couldn't get much worse, 5 more women came down the stairs, peeking curiously over the others, trying to get a better look get a better look at her and Lucy. It's one of them, one of the newcomers shouted. She pointed at Isabel. Look, it's one of the ones from the paper, one of the crazies that's been causing all the trouble. Lady, what you doing with that little girl there? The woman in the hunting jacket asked, and Isabel heard everything she needed in that tone, knew what she was being accused of, knew her trouble, and had ratcheted up a notch. Cindy, the woman called, go to the police. Go call the police. Tell Mark and the boys to get down here. Quick now, run. One of the girls in the back of the pack scampered up the stairs. Isabel understood that she had to do something quick. She took a step away from Lucy. Don't even think about it, the woman said. The woman pushed the double doors shut behind them, flipped the latch, and tightened the reins. You ain't going nowhere.